Welcome, everybody, to day one of pre-algebra. The first thing that we did for the first half of class is you all got your blue folders off of the wall. They should have had your names on them. Then we talked a little bit about the classroom agreement, which is in your folder, so you can read through that. And then your first exit ticket was to fill this out, sign it, and return it to me, hopefully today, but if not, just by Friday. And then I took attendance when the timer went off, and now we're here. So we are now gonna take a look at this little handout that should have also been in your folder. And I'm gonna put that to the side, but keep it beside me. And I'm gonna start the page of notes. Now, every day that we come in here, if we are taking notes, I'm going to be titling my pages pretty much exactly the same way. This is to keep me organized, but also hopefully keep you guys organized too. That way, when you're looking back through your notes, trying to find something we talked about forever ago, you will have an idea of where it is. So this is pre-algebra. I'm just going to write under here, this is our day one notes. I'm going to put the date on there. Tuesday, 27th. So today we are going to talk about the absolute basics of math. We're going to start from the bottom and get to the top. The first thing that we need to talk about, though, is what on earth is this word? Has anybody ever heard the word integer?
Yeah.
You've heard it? How about you ladies? You guys ever heard this word?
Join in.
You might be thinking of like integration, which that is correct, absolutely. An integer is actually just kind of a fancy word for numbers, whole numbers. So not decimals, not fractions, just whole numbers. They can be negative whole numbers, they can be positive whole numbers. So I'm just going to write up at the top of my page that word integer. Give you a definition just so that we have it. So if I say that word, you're not thinking, what does that mean? Integer. An integer is just a positive or negative whole number. You can write number using the number sign. So if you see this, that just means number. And the best way to show integers, I think, is to draw a number line. So at each of your tables, there should be a ruler. I'm going to use this as a straight edge, and I am going to draw a line. So if you're wanting to put these in your notes, make it look like mine, that's what I'm doing. Draw a nice line, left to right. And on either side of that line, both sides, we're going to put arrows on the end of that line, just like this. Now, do any of you know why I'm going to put arrows here?
Is it wrong? Yes,
Yes, Allie. This means that it never ends. Anytime you see arrows in math, the arrows tell you that it does not stop there. It actually goes on for infinity, forever, never ends, which is something that's really tough to wrap your brain around, but it does exist. Infinity exists. So this doesn't have to be perfectly precise. You technically could use your ruler to get this tick marks just right, but I'm going to put somewhere-ish in the middle a little tick mark, just like this. And that is going to be my 0. We're going to label it 0. Now, from 0, I'm going to move to the right this way, and I'm going to put a plus sign above that arrow. And the opposite direction, I'm going to go to the left above the other arrow and put a minus sign. Why do you think I put a plus and a minus here?
Or at the beginning of the number line.
Yep, gonna kind of tell us the number line, which direction we're going, is gonna tell us kind of the types of numbers that we're working with. Integers can be positive or they can be negative. Over towards the plus sign, past 0, we have positive numbers. And those numbers start at 1 and they continue forever. So I am gonna write after 0, 1. Another mark, 2. We're just gonna go up as many as you can fit. 3, 4, 5, 7. You can fit about 8 there. Dot, 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 just to show that it keeps going. Below those numbers, let's see. I'm gonna write positive, positive, positive numbers. Positive numbers increase as we go to the right. They get bigger as we go to the right. Make 0 bold so we can see the separation even better. Now I'm going to go to the left of 0 towards that minus sign, and we're going to write some negative numbers. Now, negative numbers are literally like if I took the positive numbers and I flipped them over. It's a perfect mirror, and they behave in the exact opposite way. So, starting from 0, I'm going to do the same thing. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the right, I'm going to go -1, -2, -3, -4, on and on and on to the left. So my first number for 0 is -1. Then I go another space, -2. We just put a minus sign right in front of it. That's all you do. Okay. -3, -4, over, -5, -6. That's all I can fit. That's okay. So we're going to label that side of our number line negative numbers. Go to the left. Now 0 is special because it is not positive or negative. It is the only number that exists that is neither one. It is just 0. 0 is its own thing. 0 does a lot of weird stuff whenever we start using it. I'm just going to write 0 in the middle. 0 is neutral.
Okay.
Yes. Not positive or negative. So a number line is a great way to visualize where the numbers are in relation to each other, especially as we start moving on to what we're going to see here on this handout, where we start adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So we have a number line here. And now below that, once we've got our number line written, I want to show you another word. I'm going to write Operations. Operations. Operation. Operations is just a fancy word for the things that we can do to numbers. So I am literally going to write the things we do to numbers. There are four main operations that we will focus on in pre-algebra. And all four operations are shown on this handout. We have, and I'm going to use colors here. We have addition, which is our plus. And if you are somebody that likes to color code things, I tried to put lots of colors at your tables, but if not, there are actually lots more up at the front of the room where the paper and stuff is. Feel free to steal from other tables, use whatever you need. I know I'm a very visual learner.
My notes are perfect, I will come out of my body.
Right. I am the same way.
So I'm just, you gotta work with me, because I do not wanna be here.
Okay, so we have addition. We have subtraction. And we have multiplication and division.
I'm going home and change it.
What'd you say?
I'm going home and change this.
Hey, you know what? Actually, one of the best ways to learn, especially math, is to go rewrite your notes. It's satisfying, it makes them look better, and you're tricking yourself into studying. It's a really good way to learn things. I would recommend it actually.
That's me.
I used to do the same thing in high school, and it was the only way I could study.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only way I knew how.
I like your way. Makes it, if division lasts.
Yes, division is last.
I hate division.
Oh, don't worry, you won't hate it in here.
Oh, I don't
You
like.
won't.
That's why I should reckon on honestly.
Well, guess what? In here, we use calculators. Because in the real world, you have access to a calculator. I think it is a really good skill to know how to do it by hand,
Yeah.
but I will tell you, since I have graduated high school, not once have I divided by hand, ever. Never.
Yeah.
So you're going to use a calculator in here, and that's fine.
I want to learn how to use the top of it.
Yes, well, I
I know how
will
to
show
use-
you.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so we have these four operations. These are the things that we do to numbers. We can add the numbers, we can subtract the numbers, we can multiply them, we can divide them. Now, today, we're going to start by focusing mostly just on addition and subtraction, and we're going to get moving from there. So, I'm going to have us look at that handout I gave you. And right here, we're talking about adding integers. And the first thing it says is same signs. So whenever we're talking about same signs, this means either they're both positive or they're both negative. So, like, I'm going to abbreviate above that little plus sign positive and positive. And then, for example, negative and negative. So basically, what it tells us in this guide is that whenever we add integers or numbers that have the same sign, you're gonna just add the numbers like normal and keep whatever sign is attached to those numbers. So the examples they gave is +4 plus +5 equals +9. 4 plus 5 is 9. The other example is -3 plus -2 gives us -5.
So
3
why
plus
don't
2
they
is
put the
5.
sign up there?
Say it one more time.
They didn't put the sign up,
Put the sign
the
where?
the plus sign.
She said that.
Ah,
Yeah,
so how you get
No, that's something to talk about. So if there is no sign, it's positive.
Yeah.
So if there's no sign,
Yes.
it's positive.
Yes. If there is no minus sign, always assume it's positive. Always. Positive is kind of the default. It's only negative if you see a minus in front of it. So let's
Wait a
do
minute. If there is no sign,
it's positive.
it's
Always positive.
it's always okay.
Yes.
Good to know.
The only time it's negative is if there is a negative sign right in front of it. So I would like to write out a few more examples than just the two they gave. So back to our notes, I am going to write a little title that says examples of adding with same signs. Can always use a calculator when you're adding. However, adding is one of those things that I think isn't a bad idea to know the hand skills of being able to stack your numbers up, because that I do often, I think. I feel like I use that a lot. So
What you say your hands?
like writing the numbers out or counting on your fingers, I do that too.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So here's some examples. Let's try something real simple. Let's do 2 plus 6. What is 2 plus 6?
Okay.
It is 8. Since they're both positive, our answer is also positive. It just stays 8.
So when you don't have the sign, that means it's always positive?
Yes.
Like you don't have nothing in front of the 2 or the 6?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's always positive.
Positive is always, or even if I don't say positive,
Yeah.
it's positive. A number is always positive unless I tell you it's negative. So like if I say I have $5, I probably don't mean that I owe somebody $5. I mean that I have $5. I have a positive amount of money. I've got $5. But if I said I owe somebody $5, really I have -5 because that 5 is getting taken away from me. Mhm. So here's another example. And a lot of times you're going to see negative numbers in parentheses so that the signs don't get all jumbled together. And here's what I mean by that. -2. Notice I put parentheses around that.
Yes.
That's just to group it together to show you that I mean -2. So what if I did -2 plus -6?
Why would you do that? No.
Like, let's say I owe somebody $2 and then I owe them 6 more because I borrowed $6 more. How much do I owe them?
Huh? 6, 8, 6, 7, 8,
You had it, the second number you said?
6,
8.
8, 8.
8. Yes, because all we're doing here, just like it says on our guide, we're going to add the numbers
And keep the
and keep the same sign. Since they have the same sign, they're both negative.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So since they both the same sign,
Yes.
they both negative.
Exactly.
Okay, write that down.
So we just add the numbers like normal and keep the negative sign. So our answer is -8. That's our answer.
Very positive.
Yes. And, colors can help sometimes. You can put like a little red on a negative if you want. Whatever. Whatever helps you. Let's see. How about -5 plus -12?
Okay. -5.
-17. Yes, -17.
-7.
Yes, you're just adding 5 plus 12, but since they're both negative, the answer is negative. See how we got that?
I don't think I'm doing something wrong. That's
What did
why
you
I'm
do?
getting confused. Oh, I'm gonna tell you.
It's okay. What do you have written on your paper?
This is what I got, okay, for the -2 and negative, I put, since they're both the same signs,
Mm-hmm.
they're a positive, right?
That's
I didn't write that, I didn't work that, right?
not positive.
They're negative?
It's yes, whenever we add two negatives,
Mhm.
we just get a bigger negative. You're gonna add them like normal, but they're negative.
So, the wrong thing.
That's okay.
I don't know what I'm hearing.
So here is what we're talking about. Is this that's on your paper? This is what you're wanting to write. Add the numbers and keep the sign the same. And there it is for you. Add the
So what's the
numbers.
negative? Add the numbers
Uh-huh.
and keep the sign the same.
Yes.
And the sign will be the negative sign.
Exactly.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay, and that's what did I do?
Perfect.
Perfect. The number's always positive, and then she says is negative.
Yeah.
Now put that for the first one.
Perfect.
Okay. So 12, that's 17 negative.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Okay, got it now.
Perfect. Okay, how about let me give you some bigger numbers. -15 plus -10.
Five. -5.
We want to add the numbers.
Oh, we had
Uh-huh.
looking at the negative.
That's okay.
-25. -25.
-25. Good.
And you said it's with the right opposite.
5. We just add the numbers, but since they have the same sign, they're both negative, then our answer is also negative.
Been a while. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. One more of these. What if I gave you 12 plus 31?
Subtract.
Now all I gave you is 12 plus 31.
Okay. 43.
43?
Yeah.
Double get that? Perfect. 43. Is it positive or negative? Positive. Good. Good. There were no negatives there, so we shouldn't have a negative answer.
So
All
what
positive.
signs, yeah.
Exactly. Good. Good. Okay, so that's just a few adding with the same signs. If they're both negative numbers, when we add them, the answer is negative. If they're both positive numbers, when we add them, our answer is positive. Perfect. So here's where it gets a little tricky. Now we need to look at when we have different signs.
Okay.
Sometimes you're going to add a positive plus a negative. Sometimes you're going to add a negative plus a positive. whenever the signs are different,
Mhm.
we will subtract the numbers and keep the sign of the larger number. So here's what I mean by that. This is one of the examples they gave us. 3 plus -7. First, let's decide which number is bigger, 3 or 7?
The 7.
The 7. So since that one is negative, our answer will be negative.
Mm-hmm.
All we gotta do is subtract now. 7 minus 3 is 4. -4.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna go by the 7.
Yes, we're gonna go by the bigger number.
Bigger number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so the only difference is instead of doing, because it's 3 plus, but the parentheses are right there, so
Yes, exactly.
you would have to subtract it because it's bigger, right?
Yes.
Okay, that
Perfect.
makes sense.
And then if we look at the next example, like -2 plus 8, which number's bigger, 2 or 8? 8. And 8 is positive, so our answer's positive. So -2 and 8, well, I'm gonna do 8 minus 2, which is 6.
6, yeah.
So 6 is our answer.
So positive 6 is ours?
Yes.
Because 8 is the bigger number.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Got you.
Exactly.
but you're just subtracting instead of adding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's look at a few. These were the same signs. Let's see. Now let's do different signs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm trying to write that up there.
Okay.
Where's my mind? I swear. Different.
My oldest son and my daughter-in-law left this morning. They was here for my birthday Sunday. They threw me a birthday at Burdette and we spent the night at a cabin. So he just called me. Now my brain going because I'm wondering, did they call him and is he telling me they made it home already?
Oh, do you need to step out and take a phone call? It's okay if you
I
don't.
don't want to forward down and miss nothing.
But she's recording it.
Okay, all right.
Sure, you can always.
Let me make sure he made it.
Remember, she's recording it, so we go back to.
In my brain, I'm working running. Make sure
That's
they
all
made it
right.
home.
Do what you gotta do, girl. I get it. Okay, so this is adding
What are you doing this school? Where are you?
with different signs. Okay, so let's see. Our first example, let's try -5 plus 6. So the first thing we would want to decide is our answer going to be positive or negative? Positive. Why will it be positive?
This is the.
Yes, because 6 is bigger. Perfect. Okay, so positive answer. And how will we get the number?
By subtracting.
Subtracting. Okay, so what do you think you got the answer? Tell me.
Yeah, they made it home.
One. Good. 1. Perfect. It'll be 1. 1. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at another one. How about 3 plus -10? First, we'll decide, will our answer be positive or negative? Negative. Why will it be negative? Because 10 is bigger. Perfect. Negative 10 is bigger. And how will we find the negative number? That is our answer.
By subtracting.
By subtracting.
-7.
7. So what's our answer?
-7.
-7. Oh my gosh. Yes. Perfect. Now, before I go to another one, Diane, did you get that?
You know, this thing was -1. I mean, +1
Yes.
for this one and -7 for the other one.
Yes. Perfect. So there's really just 2 steps. Decide, will my answer be positive or negative? And then subtract them. So
The
let's
biggest
see.
number.
Yes. Here's another different sign one. Let's try 5 plus negative 12.
$17.
Let's see, will our answer be positive or negative
It's gonna be
first?
negative,
Why will it be negative?
because 12 is bigger than 5.
Yes, because 12 is bigger and 12 is negative. So once we know we're gonna have a negative answer.
7.
How'd you get 7?
Did you, did you get subtract 1 and 5?
12 minus 5. That's right. So whenever we are adding with different signs, remember we choose the sign of our answer by which number is bigger. And then we actually turn this into subtraction. We're going to just do 12 minus 5
Wait a minute.
instead. Yes, what?
Okay, so we're subtracting,
Yes.
but how?
Whenever we add numbers with different signs, because the signs are different, we're actually going to be finding a difference, which is subtracting. Because whenever you add a negative number to a positive number, it turns it into a subtraction column. And let me show you kind of how that works visually.
Okay.
If I started, for example, with the second problem we did, 3 plus negative 10. Let me write that on a sticky note.
Okay.
I'll show you on this number line. This number line can be a great tool. 3 plus,
I grabbed some of that paper too.
yes, 3 plus negative 10. So if I start with 3, I'm going to start right here.
Okay.
Whenever we add, we move to the right where the numbers get bigger, right? But negative tells us to do the opposite. So we're actually going to go to the left 10 spaces.
Okay.
Because if I added positive 10, I'd go to the right. I'm adding negative, so I'm going to go negative 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would go even further. That's quite big.
So it's an 8.
Let's see. 3. I might have counted wrong. I think I counted from 2.
So you go from 3.
So I start at 3 and I add negative 10. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Negative 7. Yes. And that's exactly how we got the answer to this question. 3 plus negative 10 is negative 7.
Okay.
Yep.
Better.
Yes. Now, for bigger numbers, I do want to show these to you guys. At your tables, you should all have these little number lines in your rectangle bins, and I'll put it up on the screen. These will be here. Yes, these will be here for you guys to use if you ever want to use the number line to kind of help you visualize which way we're moving.
Take this home.
Yeah, take it. Absolutely. I made a bunch of them.
Do you?
Yes, I made a bunch. So
Take this in my folder.
I always make little tools like this, and I have a lot of students with kids at home, and they're like, "Can I have one?"
Are you serious? You get these?
You can have
I
it.
want to take this in my folder.
Yeah, it's just a laminated sheet of paper. You can have it. I can make lots more. So we can use this number line to help us with the next problem. For example,
Okay.
let's see 5 plus negative 12. And here's another cool thing with these. If you want to use these, you can actually use a dry erase marker and it will wipe right off. So if you want a dry erase marker, I got a bunch of them under that lamp in the bin. So if you want one, you're welcome to use it. Yeah, so we can start at 5. Here, I'll wait for both of you to have it. I'll wait. All right, so we got 5 plus negative 12. So with our dry erase markers, I'm going to zoom in real close, and I'm going to make a dot at 5, positive 5.
Positive.
Now, if I want
Make
to
it on there?
add, yep, because you can erase on these since they're laminated. Look at this. Gone. Isn't that nice? I love laminating stuff. Okay, so 5 is our starting point, and we want to add -12. So if I want to add a negative number, should I move 12 spaces to the right or 12 to the left?
Are you right?
If I add a positive, we go to the right. So if it was 5 plus 12, I would go 5, and then it would get bigger by 12.
Mhm.
But now I have 5 plus -12, and that negative tells us to go towards
That one.
the negatives, the negative numbers. So when we add a negative, we're really subtracting. So we're going to go to the left 12 spaces, -12. So let's see.
Count at the 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, skip the 0.
Keep the 0. The 0 is
Skip
still
the
a
0?
space.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
skip the
You see
0,
this?
girl.
So we still 0 is still a number.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And you're not the only one that's done that. I promise. It's a funky number. Snip.
12, it's 6.
Wow.
Oh, you got 7?
I think I have
-7, yes.
negative
Oh, hey.
7. Recount your arches.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 6.
Did you count from 5?
Yeah, that's weird.
Let me look at yours.
Yeah,
Let me just take. Okay, so we've gotten a few adding with different signs. So the thing to remember when you're adding numbers with different signs is that the answer is going to take the sign of the number that's bigger, and you're really subtracting the numbers. That's really what's happening there. So let's do at least one more example. How about this time I give you -17 plus 2.
Negative 17 plus 2.
17 plus 2.
So it's all here. I got negative 15.
-15? No. That's right. That's right. Now you tell me if you get the same thing.
Yeah, negative. I got negative 17.
So we start at -17 right back here.
Oh. Explain it. So I start at 17.
So what you're gonna start at whatever number comes first.
Negative 17, and
Yeah.
I'm going opposite direction.
And now it says plus 2.
So I'm going to positive.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
To the right.
1, 2,
And where'd you land?
16.
That's only one.
Oh, okay.
One more.
1.
So
I counted 17.
yeah, that's what it is. You don't count 17.
That's what I
Oh,
keep messing up.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I did for 5.
That-
I counted
So
it.
after
I'm
that,
glad you
know,
figured that out.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
catching that,
you.
girl.
Yes, so
Like,
17 or
wow.
-17, that'll be your starting
Starting
point.
point. Okay.
Yes. And
So
then
don't-
you say -16, I've moved one space.
Yeah.
-15, I've moved 2 spaces.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So you're counting the spaces, not the lines.
Yeah.
Counting this. Okay, got
Yes.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. Yeah. Teamwork.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, one more, and then we're gonna move on.
Okay.
How about, let's say, 15 plus -11. Now, don't say the answer out loud.
Okay.
See if you can figure it out on your own. I'm gonna give you a minute or two. and then I'll see what you guys get separately. See if we got it.
Oh, no, I do not know.
Oh, you don't have it? You need another minute?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you another minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
We just subtract it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I
You're
did something
subtracting?
wrong. I
What'd
think
you-
I did it.
What'd you get?
I went the wrong way.
Did you get a number bigger than 15?
No, I got it small.
That's right.
It's right?
That's right.
Okay, all right.
What
I thought
about
I
you?
went the wrong
I
way.
thought I got it right. I had gotten 4.
Okay,
You got
confidence. What'd you get? Tell me.
I said 4.
Four?
Yes,
Both of
yeah.
you?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
right.
Girl, I second guessed myself. I said, wait a minute. Oh,
Yes,
the wrong way, yes.
Because look, we can also use the trick of saying, well,
Because,
which
yeah.
number's bigger?
15.
15, and 15 is positive.
Yeah.
So our
Mhm.
answer's positive. 15 minus 11,
Yep.
4.
Okay.
Yes,
So
you
we
guys
got it right.
got
We
it.
got it right.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to teach you a faster way to do this. It's great to understand the concept of why we're getting signs and answers and things like that. But let's look at calculators too. So each of you should have a calculator that looks like this on your table somewhere. If you have something that looks two, that these are great. The one that you have, actually, it looks like just the pink version of mine. Yep, it's
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Perfect. So on your calculator, there's a few things. Clear that. Somebody tried to crack the screen on this one.
A little bit.
Oh, I think somebody the clap.
Sure did.
Here we go. Satisfying. Ooh.
Oh, that's the fastest. Oh,
There we go. Good smooth. Okay. So in this class, you're not going to use all of these. You're going to use the grid of gray numbers down here, the 0. This is the decimal point. This is your negative sign, the 1 in parentheses. Over to the side here on the right, you have your division, your multiplication, your subtraction, your addition, and your enter sign. So let's start down here at the different signs one, and let's just practice typing these in, make sure we know how to use these right. So we have -5 plus 6. So here's how I'm going to type it in. I'm going to hit the negative button down here.
Yep.
Here it is on the screen. And then click 5. Oh, there's -5.
Okay.
Plus, over to the right, 6. And we better get +1.
6.
Hit enter, equal sign.
Yep.
And there's your answer, 1.
Point. Yeah. That's it.
You got the same thing? Perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's try the next one. 3 plus -10. Now we're going to type 3.
Okay.
Plus.
Disappear.
When you start a new number, yeah, you can either hit clear at the top right here, or if you just start typing another number, it kind of clears it for you.
Yeah.
So I typed 3 plus, and then I'm going to hit -10.
-10.
And enter, you should get -7.
Yep.
Yeah, girl.
Perfect.
Oh,
Okay, let's make sure we really got it. Let's do these last 3.
Okay.
That way, you'll be using your calculator for stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure we can use them right. So 5 plus -12. Let's see.
All right.
5
Plus
plus.
-12 equals -7.
Perfect. Perfect. And see how quick that is.
Yes.
Okay. -17 plus 2. Let's see.
Okay, negative.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, last one. 15 plus -11. Perfect. Perfect. So now you got this skill in your back pocket too. And you should, as long as you can type it in right, you can get the answer right every single time. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so that about covers our addition. So I'm going to flip my page and we're going to now look at subtraction.
Okay.
So this will be, I like to title my notes by page numbers. So this was page 1 of our notes today.
Okay. Good idea.
And yours might not line up perfectly with mine, but I do it just to keep myself organized. You know, you can do it the same way if you want. You. I'm going to write day 1 notes continued. Okay. Now, subtraction is interesting because it has kind of a rule of its own.
Mhm.
And I don't like to have you memorize a lot of things in here, but if you can memorize one thing, it would be the subtraction rule because you will end up using it
Mhm.
all the way to the end of math when you get all the way up to geometry. So I'm going to write this in big bold red. Subtract. We're going to use this little phrase that's written and highlighted in blue right here. Keep, change, change.
Keep change.
Keep, change, change. And I will tell you exactly what that means. I'm just going to write that again here. Keep, change, change. Once we do that, this will make more sense when you see it, we just use the addition rules. So if I, for example, let's look at the first example they give us on that paper, -8 minus 5. I'm actually going to write this a little bit bigger. Right, -8 minus 5. Just like this.
Okay.
So is it still the same rule about the large number?
You'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
We're going to do this keep, change, change thing first, which I'm about to show you. And then it is the same rule once we've done
I think
that.
I know. I think
Yes.
Nice.
So when we say keep, change, change, we're going to keep the first number. -8, we keep. So I am not going to touch -8. Now I'm going to look at the sign.
Mm-hmm.
I have minus.
Right.
I'm going to turn that to a plus. Uh-huh. And then my +5, I'm going to change that to -5.
What? In the world?
Uh-huh. So what I really did here is now I have -8 plus -5.
-8 plus -5.
We turned it into addition.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. Because when you add a negative number, it's the same thing as
Yeah.
subtracting. It all kind of revolves. It's kind of cool. I don't know, I think it's neat. So now I have an addition problem with the same signs. So what's my answer going to be to -8 plus -5?
Oh, it's still a negative.
Still a negative.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
remember, if we're adding numbers with the same signs,
Oh, okay.
add the
Keep it.
numbers, keep the signs the
Yeah,
same.
keep it. Okay.
And we can also always double check on our calculator. I can type in -8
Yes.
plus -5. and I'm gonna get
Negative 13.
negative 13. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Equals 13.
That's why it's keep change.
Yes.
What in the world?
I know, right?
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Okay, so let's look at their next example.
Oh, wow.
And I'm gonna also write on here because I know if I look back later, I'm gonna say, what does keep change mean? I'm gonna circle my negative 8 and say, this is what I keep.
Okay.
Okay. And then I changed that minus to plus. And then I changed 5 to negative 5. That's how we ended up getting that.
Okay.
That's exactly what we did. So let's write one more example here. 3 minus negative 7. This one is my favorite rule, and you're going to see this one a lot as we move forward. When we see two minus signs like this or a minus negative beside each other, I like to say that they're just like best friends. They like to just jump together and they become the plus. But let's try this with the keep change. So I'm going to keep my 3.
Yep.
What am I going to do to this minus?
Plus.
I'm going to change it to a plus. What am I going to do with this minus?
Change to a plus.
Change it to a plus. It's just 3 plus 7.
Yeah.
It's the same. Which doesn't make sense if you think about it. It's like, what? How subtracting a negative is adding? It is. It's weird, but it is.
Yeah.
So what is our answer here? 3 plus 7 is 10.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, don't count the number you start on. Count after. You got it. 3 plus 7 is 10. All right. Okay, then I'll write that other example. Negative 5 minus negative 2. Helps I keep the parentheses in where they have them.
With 5, take away 2.
See, what am I going to keep?
Negative 5.
Oh. Okay.
Negative 5 we
Negative
keep.
5.
What changes?
Negative to a plus.
The negative turns into plus, and then this becomes
That's a positive.
a positive 2. So we have negative 5 plus 2. So really you are doing 5 minus 2, but is it going to be a positive answer or a negative answer?
Negative.
Why is it going to be negative?
Because 5 is bigger too.
Yes, because our 5 is bigger than 2 and 5 is negative. So our answer will be negative
3.
negative 3. Did you get negative 7?
Yeah.
So negative 5 plus negative 2 would give us negative 7.
Okay.
But remember, when we add numbers with different signs, yes, we're subtracting. Yes. Which is really difficult to get in our brains. I will tell you, every single time I've taught this class, this is the hardest lesson.
Mhm.
Only because of the negative.
Yes, it's the
That's
negative
really
numbers.
what it is.
And I have students all the way up in geometry,
Yeah.
still have a hard time with negative.
Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That negative kind of
Different
makes you on the edge a little bit.
Right.
Kind of makes you, I don't know if I should put this on with.
Well, it just doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got that. Now, this is great for if you are writing it out by hand. But the other thing that we can remember is we can still have things on our calculator.
Yeah.
For example, negative 9 minus 3. I could change this to negative 9 plus negative 3. That works. But I could also just type on my calculator negative 9 minus 3. and I'll get the answer that I need, negative 12.
Negative 12, yeah.
And it'll work every time. So you always have your calculator to fall back on. Always gonna be there.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So, only difference between how you just did that negative 9 minus 3, just a minute ago, you did, what was it?
It would have been.
Before we changed it.
Yes.
Because you had the minus, remember, it was 2 minuses in the middle.
Yes. So let's see. This would be a different problem if I did like negative 9 minus negative 3.
Yeah, like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But remember, we did one like that, but we changed it.
You did. So if we didn't change this, here's how we would type it.
Okay.
Negative 9 minus negative 3.
Oh, okay.
Enter. Now that's a different answer.
It is.
Negative 6. Because instead of subtracting positive 3, we subtracted negative 3. Kind of crazy.
Okay, yeah. That's why I wanted to see. That's why I wanted to see.
Yes.
And a little bit different.
Yes. So lots of different ways to do it. You got your number line, you got your calculator, you got the little integer rule tricks. Whatever helps you, you can use. Okay. You feel okay?
Yes, I
Feel
do.
good? Okay. Okay. Can we talk about multiplying and dividing?
No.
I promise you, it's not as scary as it sounds. I actually think, believe it or not, I think you're gonna find it easier.
Really?
I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's easier.
I think the most part probably will, because you know, all the negative
Let's
stuff.
I think it's gonna be easier. Okay, so flip to page 3.
Okay.
That's very
I'm gonna title my notes. Page 3.
Yeah.
I'll wait for everybody to be ready. It's actually gonna be nice when we use, you guys ever used a multiplication table?
Yes.
I love those. We're gonna use one today. And there should be I made a bunch of them. There should be tables already. I'm gonna steal one from the table.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give you guys a minute to get your next page ready, and then we're gonna look at this multiplication chart. So I'll pause this while we're getting situated. Okay, so we're gonna look at this multiplication chart. And how familiar are both of you with these? Do you know how to use it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if I wanted to know what is 10 times 11 using this chart?
110. Yes.
110. All we do is
Oh.
find 10 and 11. Where do they cross each other? Right
Oh,
here.
121.
10 and 11. No, you were right.
Oh,
110.
okay.
11 and 11 gives you 120.
Ah, okay.
Yes, you got it. Okay, so this is a great tool that we can use. We don't really even have to think about it. Now, multiplication is, if we wanted to talk about the more pencil and paper working it out, it's repeated addition is what I'm going to tell you. So let me title this multiplication. Multiplication is just adding a number over and over and over. So, for example, I'm going to write repeated thing. So, for example, 6 times 3. It just means I'm going to take 6 3 times. There's going to be 6 plus 6 plus 6, and that gives us 18.
Yep.
All we're doing. So I'm going to underline that 3, and I know I'm doing it 1, 2, 3 times. That's exactly what we did. What about 2 times 5? How many times do I add 2? I'm going to take 2
Oh, how many times?
times.
You said how many times?
2 times 5. How many
4.
times will I add 2?
5 times.
Yes, just like 6 times 3 is adding 6 3 times. 2 times 5 is just adding 2 5 times. So,
Oh, okay, yes.
yes.
I said you said I had to use the thing.
Oh, no, you're
The
okay.
graph.
So 2 plus 2.
A chart, I mean.
We're going to get
We're gonna do 4, I think.
2 plus 2 is 4. So we got those 2. Now add 2 again.
Oh.
We're going to go 5 times.
10.
10. Perfect. Now, will you ever have to do it this way? No. I'm just telling you kind of the theory of what multiplication is. Where does that number come from?
Something new.
Right. Now, I also really like to look at it in terms of like a picture. So a good way to show this, like if I have 2, I don't know, 2 buttons in a bag, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that 5 times. I'm gonna draw that group of 2 5 times. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4 groups, there's 5 groups. How many buttons are there in all? You can just count them.
10.
There's 10. There's 10. You can also always draw a picture to help multiplication. You can draw that 2 items out 5 times. Now that's probably the longest way to do it. It will take you the longest when you're working with big numbers. So a multiplication chart or a calculator is what I will always recommend. When you're doing multiplication in the context of a math problem, which is where we're going to be heading, you will be doing it on your calculator almost every time. Unless, of course, I think there comes a point when you've done so many multiplication problems, you actually will notice you're going to start to accidentally memorize it. It will happen. And you'll be like, where did this come from? It happens. It just does. But multiplication is just adding a number over and over and over as many times as it tells you to. So we'll get to division here in a minute, but let's talk about the sign rules of multiplication. When you multiply numbers that have the same sign, and I'm actually going to draw a little chart. And I would recommend drawing this chart. This chart, and this is my favorite thing about multiplication and division, they have the same rules. You don't have to learn 2 different rules. They have the same rules. So if I multiply numbers with the same signs, for example, I multiply 2 positive numbers like this. Do you think that my answer is going to be positive or negative? Positive. Good. If you multiply a positive times a positive, your answer is positive. Now, this next one is weird, but it's true. If I multiply a negative times a negative,
So you get a positive?
you get a positive. Yes, yes. You're going to get a positive because it's the same signs. It don't make a lot of sense, but it does. Same signs give you positive answers. Okay.
And that's only because it's multiplication.
Yes, yes, because we're multiplying same signs. Now, if you multiply different signs, so for example, let's say I multiply a positive number times a negative number.
Wouldn't it always be positive?
It will always be positive if your signs are the same.
Okay, that's what
Now that we have different signs,
Okay,
we're
so
gonna
it's
get a
positive.
negative
Okay.
answer. Yes. So if I do a positive times a negative, my answer will be
Gotcha.
negative. If I do a negative times a positive, my answer is also negative because the signs are different.
Now you doing this, it makes it very easy to understand.
Well, good. And I'll tell you what, I think I didn't have a great high school experience myself. I feel like a lot of high school teachers should be college teachers.
Yeah, I do too. Yes,
You know,
most definitely.
I don't think there's anything wrong with simplifying it and teaching it at the level where students need to be taught to. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like
Mhm. I went to North. I didn't.
you went to North.
I went to North, yeah, and I got transferred my senior year. So
Right.
I don't think they counted that for me.
That's wild.
But yeah, they different. Then like North is a really big school, so they've got like 30 to almost 40 students in one class.
Right.
What you can't
That's
learn?
too many.
Yeah, you can't learn nothing at
Uh-uh.
North. Like it's so I don't know.
I love having small classes.
Yeah.
Because like in a big
Yeah.
class, I bet you'd be way too scared to say something.
Yeah,
if
because
you
you
didn't
got
get it.
different sections of groups of talking, doing this,
Right.
braiding hair.
Right.
One teacher in the classroom, they might have an assistant teacher in there with them, but just that one. It was terrible.
Wow.
And then they're expecting you to know what to do with their end of your assignment.
No, this is the way to go. I actually have loved it here. So, same signs positive, different signs negative. I'm gonna write that out too. Same signs equals positive. Whether they're both positive or both negative, you're gonna get a positive answer. Because what's happening here is the negatives, when you multiply them, they cancel each other out. They become positive.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, it works that way. Just like how when we did minus a negative and we did the change,
Yeah.
that became positive. Those two negatives, when they're right beside each other, they cancel. They become a positive. So now we have different signs. Negative. Okay, so we'll do some practice with this too. Let's see. This one is an important one to have in your back pocket, so I'll give you guys a minute to make sure you have that copied down. I always hated feeling rushed when I was taking notes in high school. You guys need a minute to finish this. You got it. And you still writing this?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. Make sure we're still going. Okay. I would like for you to let's try -5 times, and sometimes you're going to see this dot as the multiplication symbol. So I just did that out of habit. -5 times -3. Okay. Do these numbers have the same sign or different sign?
Same signs.
Same sign. So will my answer be positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. Okay.
Which is times or it's still
Times. So let me put the X.
Will be a positive 15.
Positive 15. Yes. You got it.
It's easier.
Yes, right? I know, everybody thinks this is gonna be harder, but it's not. Adding is so much harder. It's so much harder. I don't know why. Let's see. -5 times +3.
That would be negative, wouldn't it?
Why will it be negative?
That's all it's been. No.
You're thinking of why it would be negative with addition.
Okay.
But since we're multiplying, what causes us to get a negative answer? We have two options. You can get a positive when this happens, you'll get a negative.
Signs.
Just because the signs are different.
Okay.
Even if it was +5 times -3, you'll still get -15. Because they got different signs.
Okay.
Yes. -15. There it is. Okay. How about negative?
Because they got different signs,
Yeah.
and back then, multiplication is gonna always be a positive.
If they have different signs, it will always be negative. If
I mean,
they have the
negative. That's what I
same,
meant to
yes,
say. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so different, okay, because it's multiplication, that's why. Okay,
yes.
that's what I meant to say.
You're all right. That's perfect. Okay, how about -10 times 4?
Same thing. What's the -40?
Yes,
It's the same
ma'am.
thing.
Yes. -40. Different signs, negative answer. 10 times 4 is 40. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna write out 3 or 4 that I want both of you to try on your own this time.
Oh, no.
And I'll give you a few minutes. I'll set a little timer. And then we'll look at them together and see how we do.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's do 3. For problems, I'm gonna pause this video. I'll see what you guys get. All right, so let's go over these answers. What is 3 times -7? -21. Perfect. What about -4 times -3?
8.
Oh, you mixed them. But
Say
yes.
it again?
No, you got it. It was, remember we wrote them backwards.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the next answer on your page was 12. +12. Yes.
why'd I do that?
You do it. I know you got it. Now, +2 times +4 is +8.
Oh my gosh, I have been ashamed of myself.
Last but not least, -6 times +2 is
-12.
negative.
Oh, goodness,
12.
me.
Yes.
Pay attention, I don't want to get wrong on the test.
All right. That is going to be it today. We will move on and talk a little bit about division and then move on to some other things tomorrow. But that's going to be it for day 1. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll move on. Today, the only assignment that you have is to sign the
That paper that you got right
yes,
there in your
the
hand.
classroom agreement page, the day 1 exit ticket. It was in your folder. And that's it for today. So
And what I'm gonna do is,